Good evening, class and Dr. Knight. My name is Brad Stohr, and this is my case study presentation on Invitrogen. Starting off, we're going to take a look at the 5-force evaluation plan. The strategic recommendations of the study were based on the 5-force evaluation plan. The 5 pillars contain critical areas of concern for our company's strategic and competitive plans. We're also going to take a look at the new intron threat. The new intron threat is rampant in the cases where the probability of the business is high. The Invitrogen company is at apparent risk of experiencing the new intron threat. This can be harmful to the company's operations regarding the recent expansion and surplus production. Next, we're going to take a look at the situational analysis on the external side. First thing we look at is current rivalry. The rivalry between companies emerges due to the factors that influence the competitive nature of the companies. Next thing we take a look at is price changes. One of the main effects of an intense rivalry is the change in prices by the competitor. Varying prices greatly influence the behavior of the market, since consumers will be pulled to companies selling their products at a much lower price. The next thing we're going to take a look at is acquisition of mergers. In a nutshell, the Invitrogen company started in the year 1987 and was incorporated during 1989. The company specialized in the production of kits for molecular cloning, which included the kits for mRNA separation. The company mainly developed through acquiring or merging with other companies dealing in similar projects. Now we want to look at the situation analysis on the internal side. First thing I want to talk about is buyer power. Invitrogen, as a company, should strategize in understanding the consumer base for it to thrive in its competitive marketplace. One strategy is investigating and maintaining its buyer groups to avoid possible conflicts. Another thing we want to take a look at is economies of scale. The expansion of Invitrogen company, especially in its levels of production, has exposed the company to many managerial challenges. This exposes the company to various buyer group threats if not dealt with properly. More so, expanding a company also raises its need for skilled professional with the capacity to manage the firm due to economies of scale. That being said, the company needs to have an efficient and qualified workforce for enhancement of a quality production. Therefore, this calls for the efficiency in the recruitment process and training of new workers to maintain required standard to run the company in case it expands. The last thing I want to talk about is workforce motivation. So I can have the greatest leaders in the world, but if my workforce isn't motivated, they're not going to work. Invitrogen's management needs to provide motivation to the workforce. When a company is expansive and full of activities, its employees need to have some form of self-drive in their operations to have the spirit to work harder, hence increase productivity. Next, let's go over the SWOT analysis. Taking a look at strengths and weaknesses, we're going to first analyze the product brand. Invitrogen needs to focus more on the improvement of the product quality and market influence rather than on its strategy of acquisition and mergers, which have worked fairly well for them during the past. This case study addressed the new set of measures that should be implemented by the company to improve the competitiveness in the market field. Next, we're going to talk about supplier power. The supplier power is brought about by the ability to control the prices of the products. This can pose a number of severe threats to a company. Now let's look at opportunities. Invitrogen uses an outside company to do a lot of their research. I believe that the company should strategize to have the research team rather than depending on external companies. The research earns about 90% of the company's total earnings, which is a big chunk. The research should be conducted concerning the consumer's demand. The researchers should be keen to the study of the trends in the market fields. This will help to maintain the company's top competitive position in its products market. It will also make any future expansion worthwhile by the consistency in the production of top quality products. The next thing I want to talk about in the SWOT analysis is threats, mostly substitute products. Substitute products are a threat caused by the availability of a product that a consumer can purchase and place in the company's product. This occurs even though the company producing the other product may not be intending to compete with the other company. This, however, creates automatic competition and poses a big threat to the company's market. The main factors that make substitute products a threat is the necessity of the company's products to the consumer and the cost of substitute products. Invitrogen in the medical field has a ton of competitors, so substitute products is a big threat to their business. Invitrogen strategy formulation. The 5 forces consideration are key in strategizing procedures for the company. However, each pillar has limitations and levels of uncertainty. The reliability of the information provided is highly dependent on the actual conditions in the field and not theorized form. Management should be keen to identify the areas where they can play a major role in strategizing when considering the 5 pillars. This will in turn help the company maximize its profits and maintain a high competitive profile in the management's capacity. Let's look at the strategic alternative implementation. It is evident that the company strives to expand and maximize production while avoiding the substitute product threat. This has been successful but to a commendable extent. Therefore, new strategies should be put into place to ensure maximum productivity in the near future. The company needs a market for its large volumes of products and services, something that calls for the development of a strong supply and merchandise team in the company. This is usually a critical concern in all the production companies. However, the case study revealed some main issues that should be focused in marketing and production promotion. Lastly, let's talk about process issues. The target consumers and their location is one point Invitrogen as a company should focus on. The company applies technology and merchandising through the web market. This has enabled the supplies to reach the North American market, which mainly relies on this system. The use of sales managers and representatives is also a great step. However, with the expansion of the product, new strategies are required. Potential customers and the current market should be notified on the new products through the right systems. This should be done to maintain the company's competitive nature. This concludes my case study on Invitrogen. I hope everybody had a great semester, and I look forward to seeing everybody at graduation. Good luck with the rest of the semester.